Welcome to Dash Talks Live. I'm Mark Stern, founder of custom box agency dash-andcardex.com, and someone who believes great businesses aren't built by accident. They're built by design. On the show, we'll sit down with founders, builders, and bold thinkers to impact how they're growing their business, designing unforgettable customer experiences, and turning great ideas into real momentum. If you're an entrepreneur who believes execution matters just as much as vision, then you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Mark Stern here with another episode of Dash Talks Live. I am excited to have with us today the one and only Billy Sammons. Billy, it's so good seeing you again. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh man, like we started talking about before, it's wonderful being on this side of it again because it was great having you on my show and talking about boxes. And I talk to everybody about boxes and they're like, that is the coolest thing. But it's nice being on this side sometimes too. A little less pressure. I let you kind of run the show and it's nice. I'm excited to be on.
I know. And so at Custom Box Agency, we do love our physical products. And especially in this age of AI, how are you thinking about how physical enables digital? I believe that analog is just getting more relevant in the times that we live in because things are going so extreme digital that we are starting to distrust some of the things that we see. Before we go down that rabbit hole, can you just introduce a little bit about yourself and your background to our listeners?
Oh, the superhero origin story. I love it. It's the fun stuff. So yeah, I made a shift from being a high school teacher and a professor at the local college into real estate. When I got into the real estate space, I wanted to start becoming somebody that was giving to the community, not just another taker. It's a space that taking is kind of the stereotype, and I just couldn't do it. I had those teacher bones in my body. I just had to be somebody who's doing charity and doing giving. And so I stumbled accidentally across an opportunity to do a collaboration with the local brewery. They're really family oriented. They had dogs get a welcome, food trucks, games, family nights, that kind of stuff. I'm like, I want more people to know you're here. Can we just do a little video commercial? And they're like, yeah, that'd be great. We're just getting started. This is 16 years ago. And so I did that one. And I'm like, that was a blast. I want to do another one. And so I did another one with another business, another one with another business. And before you know it, I'm doing commercials for all these business owners. And I know 40 or 50 now. And what I learned was that it's not the audience. I was at first trying to get bigger audiences, and that wasn't what was moving the needle. Moving the needle was knowing the business owners themselves and them sending referrals and making those connections. And that's when I made that pivot to, the giving market, giving with intention and growing my base that way instead of just trying to be vanity metrics and growing my audience bigger. And that made all the difference in my business. And now I want to start teaching other people how to do the same thing.
I really want to build out Custom Box Agency strategic partnership network. There's so many elements of business. I don't want to represent all of them. We have very much our niche and our focus, but people are constantly asking us who does blank. And what I really struggle with is if I recommend someone, I want to know that they're in good hands with the person. And I spoke to someone about this concept of this partnership network, and his response to me was, I'd love to be a part of it, but I have a small email list. And my response was like, no. He was so used to the online space where they're like, I'd love for you to be on my podcast or be on my summit, but you have to have at least 5,000 people and you have to email 5 times. And then it's so transactional relationship. It's not a connection. And I was like, no. I'd rather break the paradigm. And if we do this, say, if you promote Custom Box Agency or if I promote you, it doesn't matter if it never even happens. I just want a trusted network that I can learn more about your business and understand you more to the point that I can confidently recommend you. And with physical products, I wouldn't be surprised as we grew this network, I create resources that spotlight these businesses because I want to know what they're doing. And at the same time, I want them to really understand us. And in that sense, can we win together? And so I love what you represent. I love what you do. And I think it's, especially in this age of AI that we live in right now, key point of differentiation.
It is.
Yeah. So the question we like to ask, we love what we call the customer lifecycle. Simple framework, 3 phases in the customer lifecycle. So anytime a customer comes into your realm, it starts with how are you acquiring them? Then what is your onboarding and delivery process? And then how are you retaining them? So when we say acquisition, this is the phase around how people discover you to buying your products and services. Onboarding and delivery is you made a promise when they bought from you. How are you going from welcoming them into your universe to delivering upon that promise? Retention is the next phase. How are you extending lifetime value with that customer so you can continue to serve them and support them on their journey? And so with the simple question around, if you were to pick one of the 3 of these for us to focus the rest of this conversation on, you want to do acquisition, onboarding and delivery, or retention?
Let's do door number 3, do retention.
You are the first person that's picked door number 3. So you get to kick us off with retention. So essentially the question that I have for you, recognizing that we are here in this age of AI, and when we think about retention and especially your special sauce, what comes top of mind that for the listeners of this show, when it comes to retention, what is a lens or perspective that you think is important that they should be considering that may not necessarily be top of mind?
That you're running a business, you don't have a job. I think that's a big part of it, right? So my thought is when I'm retaining the people that join my course that do the framework and follow along, they're changing their lifestyle, they're changing their marketing, they're making a pivot for themselves. They're in the cold space, cold calls, cold marketing, buying leads, buying stuff. And that's a job.
Yeah.
Honestly, you get a list of 30 people, you call the 30 people, call the 200 people, you're dropping tens of thousands of dollars to buy these lists and you have a job. And that's not sustainable, right? You can do a job for forever, but you don't have a career and you don't have anywhere to grow. You're stagnant, right? So once you move into the referral space, once you learn to make connections and make these connections with intentionality through giving, then you have an infinite business and you have a career that you can actually enjoy and grow into. And that's kind of the lens that I push people. I always challenge them. I'm like, think about your office or where you work or whatever you do. The person crushing it where you're in your space is probably not somebody who's making 500 cold calls every day because they'd burn out 2-3 years of getting no's and no's. It's probably the person that's sitting in the back that knows everybody, that just has leads coming their way and they just know people and stuff just comes at them. Those are the people that are probably crushing it. So why would you want to continue doing the job of calling people when you know that's not the end goal? Yeah. Let's get to the point where we teach you how to start making those referrals, making those connections, and start growing a business you can actually enjoy and grow into.
When you say referral marketing or the referral space, what does that mean exactly?
So when I teach referrals, I always say cold and I say referral, right? Cold is when you buy the lists and you call people and you bug them during dinner and all that stuff, and it's just painful. Referral is you know somebody. Like if I send somebody to Mark, I'm like, hey, he's got this amazing box company, you need to check him out, and I send somebody your way, that's a referral. The introduction's already been made. They already trust you because I'm the one sending them, right? And then it gets right to business. You don't have to do all the other like warming them up and trying to figure out if it's a good, like you already know each other. Like it's so much easier, it's like it's not a blind date. You know what I mean? Like you're already saying, hey, you gotta hang out with Mark. He's a really cool guy. That's what I consider referrals when you've already made the connections and they're passing it off to somebody else. Like you need to hang out with this person. You need to go check out and see what they're doing. And it just relieves a lot of the stress. It relieves a lot of the process. It saves you time. And you're already breaking down a lot of those walls of like cold leads. Because when you call cold lead, there's always that ABC. You need to do this. And then you got to do this. And it's a big strategy. And that phone call usually ends with, so where do we take it from here? Have you heard that phrase like every single time? Every single time.
Every time.
When you do referrals, at the end, you're just like, all right, man, that was really fun. What's the next step? They ask you. It's a totally different conversation. It's a different feel. It's a different vibe. It's just, it's the way to actually run a business.
You're already validated. You're already warm. People already trust the person that's connecting you, and they know that they're not going to steer them in the wrong direction. So in some ways, it's yours to lose.
Yeah.
This is a powerful element of someone that they know, like, and trust is already saying, hey, Billy's your guy. You got to just talk to Billy. And I've gotten on calls with people that literally were like, we saw this experience you built out for client A. This is a dear friend of ours. Can you do the same thing for us? And all of a sudden, the sales process isn't as much of that dating back and forth, or do I trust you? Is my money in good hands if I'm with you? No, part of it is that I saw what you did there and I've already talked to the person. And here's the reality. It's different than someone coming at me and being like, you got to do this. Trust the network. And then I will tell you this also. Apparently, one of my closest friends who calls me all the time is potential spam. All the cold calling that I get from potential spam, I'm really popular with potential spam. Every single time. It's gotten to the point that I literally figured out in my Apple iPhone settings that there's a setting that I can say, if you're not saved in my phone, you go straight to voicemail. And I get the little voice alerts from potential spam selling me the thing that I never signed up for. So when we think about referral marketing, is there any element of this game that has changed in this age of AI that we live in? I think that with AI, human connection is the thing we cannot lose sight of. But have you seen in your world, is it a tool that people are using? Is it still the old school way works brilliantly? And so don't fix what's not broken already, but it's an enabling role. It's not a replacing role.
There's a lot of ways to take that question.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in this direction and say it's a great disqualifier, right?
Okay.
So if you see a text message, an email, or whatever that's clearly AI, because We're smart consumers. We know when it's AI, it's got certain phrases, it's got the hyphens. I delete it right away. But when you know it's a real live connection, you're tuned in, you're listening. Like, all right, this person spent the time. This is really them. I want to actually make a connection. So really the referral marketing that I'm teaching and preaching is actually doubling down. It's working way better because it's a real person, and people are getting almost excited about a real person putting the real work in to make connections. Whereas the AI people that can do mass numbers, I mean, it's fine. Go ahead and do your mass numbers, but so many people are just tuning you out and not trusting you that you have to do probably double. Everybody's got a bot now, or a text bot, or one of those things. So it's going to take so much more work. Whereas it's not going to take as much work for you and I because we're in the referral space. And you just be like, hey, oh yeah, Mark, he reached out. That was definitely an email from him, or a text from him, or a call from him. I'm going to take it. I'm going to answer it. Right? It's just easily disqualifying so many different people and qualifying us as people that are actually making genuine connections.
If someone was like, I would love to get started with referral marketing. And part of the question I would have for you is if you had some like a nugget or something to share with the listeners around how to even get started in the space, where would you begin?
You start with yourself. You have to know your values, your company values, and what's important to you. And once you know what's important to you, where your values are, then you need to start finding other people in that space that share those values, because you're not going to collaborate. You're not going to refer. You're not going to work with people that don't align with your values. There's some people you just have to say no to. The spam boss, for example. So know who you are, know what's important to you, and start finding others that align with your values. And if you're somebody like, I don't even know where to start, just maybe a list, things that are important to me. It's that simple. Things that are important to me, and write anything down. And are you somebody who likes to give to the community? Do you like to do charity? Do you work in the theaters? Do you support firefighters? Like, all those things are values and qualities of yourself. And then if you still don't know, if you're like, I made a list, I still don't know, where do you gravitate, right? What other businesses do you gravitate? How would you explain some of the businesses you frequent? What things are attributes and values of theirs? Because if it attracts you, then you share those values. I really love what they're doing over here at the donut shop because they do this, this, and this. Cool. Those are clearly somewhat in your value range too, right? And so you can do it that way as well. And once you know the values, you start making a list of other people and other businesses you can start working with. And then it's got to be a give. You have to give them something that they need. It's got to be giving with intention. If you just give for the sake of giving, it's not going to work. It sounds great on paper, but you're going to burn out. You're going to get tired. You're not going to see the results. Give with intention instead.
Yeah, and you've been dropping a lot of words that are buzzwords for me, which is intention. When we think about a box experience, it's like, this is why we say stop saying swag. Swag is stuff without a goal. Like, be intentional and give them the tools and resources that need to be set up for success. I want to just reiterate what you just said, Billy, because when you don't go along with your values, there's a couple things. If you're a business owner and you're not very clear on your values, or you're not upholding your true values, me as a business owner, I have a team of over 20. The larger my team gets, the more they're watching me. And who are you and what do you stand for, which directly impacts your own company culture. And this is the thing. When we had a team of 5 to a team of 10 to a team of 20, the company culture evolved and evolved and evolved as the business evolved. And there's like certain things that stay constant, which is, who are we as a business? What is important to us? What do we value as a business? And then to your second point, around other people's values that align with our values as well in terms of those strategic partners. I swear, as an entrepreneur, at times I feel like, why is this happening to me? I feel like it's a test of the universe saying, I'm testing your values and I'm testing who you are. I remember early stages of Custom Box Agency, someone came to us and was like, it was a great opportunity and she wanted to rethink her online platform and her course. You've done some work for us in the boxes. We love what you did here, but can you build this out for us? And it's so easy as a business owner to say, oh yeah, of course we can do that too. But it was so far out of our core competency as a business that it actually killed me. And like at the time as a young business, money is money. And this is an opportunity. And I ended up saying no to it because I was like, this is just not our lane. It's not where we play. It's not like who we are as a business or a company. Right afterwards, we landed more and more clients that were, it was like, you passed the test. And now here's the reward for passing the test, for saying you stayed in your lane, you stayed focused, you niched down, you stayed true to your values, and the universe almost rewarded me for being true. But it's hard to see it when it's right in front of your face. No. I'm so happy that I turned it down, but it was almost like the universe recognized what was going on and rewarded it. So I think the exercise and how you broke it down around who you are as a business and what do you value. There's elements in the business of what's important to you as you run the business. There also could be values that you have, just things you like to do in your life. And they're important to you as well.
You just said there's 2 ways to evaluate yourself. How do I act when I don't have any money? And how do I act when I have tons of money? And if that's not the same person, think about that.
And that's true too. And I say that
It
because
is. It is.
when given a platform and you get louder, who you are when you play small versus who you are when you play big, it's just an amplification of that. And so if you're a good person playing small, it's going to come through. If you are rough and disrespectful, it's going to come through in a louder way. It's so true because you're going to, the way you operate, it's going to be your default layer. Let's talk about this concept of giving. So the third part of this was, what are your values?
Giving.
Finding people that you have values that are comparable to yours in terms of finding it. Now let's talk about the giving piece. What does giving mean to you? And the giving with intentionality as you framed it.
It's got to be intentional. So you probably have heard the same thing. Get the Zig Ziglars, you get the Bob Burgers, you get all these guys that are experts, amazing experts in their field. And they always preach like, make sure you give, make sure you give. And I've always been like, that's great. I'm all on board. I'm ready to give. And then I stopped and I'm like, but what? Like they never tell you the what. And that was like an extra step. I was always just kind of waiting. Like there should be like 5 more pages in this book telling me what I should be giving. And so I'm like, all right, I got to figure this on my own. There's got to be a way to give. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about what can I give? And it has to be something you enjoy. Because otherwise, again, you're going to burn out. It's not going to happen. It's got to be something that the other person who's reciprocating that they want, that helps them solve their problem. It adds value to them. And that's how I landed on the business commercials, because every business owner wants more promotion. They want more advertising. So it was something that I had fun doing, something that they needed and something I could scale. I could do it for any of them. I don't have to go in there and each business say, hey, what do you need? What's your pain point? I didn't have to do that every single time because that also would exhaust you. So you really have to spend some time like, where is your strengths? Do you enjoy? And fun is such a big part of it because fun keeps you doing it over and over and over again without always hitting a home run, right? And then what do they need? And if your audience aligns with your values, they need this and this and this. Podcasting is another easy one, right? You and I do podcasts. I mean, there's not an entrepreneur on this planet that doesn't need more face time in a podcast or a commercial, right? So depending on who your audience is, you give them the things they need and things you enjoy. And that's what I call intentional giving.
Yeah. And I'd love to evolve that just a little bit further. Things that most people don't do or don't do well. If I'm going on a podcast, one of the things I do is I always research the person that I'm going on their podcast. It seems like a thing that you should do, but part of the reason I do that is when I show up on their podcast, if I did not know who their audience was, if I did not understand their universe, if I didn't understand their business, if I didn't understand their messaging, then part of it is the balance of like this relationship that I'm trying to build. It's one-sided, and all of a sudden you may do that thing that it's like, well, they really didn't understand my audience.
No.
And there's a responsibility on both sides. I did a podcast yesterday, and I started talking about just some of the things that I acknowledged that she had put out there. It fundamentally changed the nature of it because I made an investment in her just as much as she's making an investment in me.
They do shift. Mm-hmm.
And so from a relationship standpoint, one of the things you got to recognize is it's two ways too. So both players have it, but this is kind of how you create that win-win where both people can win in the equation. I don't want transactional relationships. I don't want a relationship that we're just in it because we all have our own motives and it's really not to uplift each other. One of the things we're doing is we're building a physical product off of Dash Talks Live. What do I want to do? Oh, I want to send it to everyone who comes on the show as just a thank you. And it's just a foot in the door. And part of what it also does for me is it keeps me top of mind for them.
Exactly.
And vice versa. And the strategic partnership play, which I also want to make an investment in you, which I'm not seeing a lot of business owners or people do. And this is just time equity at this point. It's crazy. But this is the thing that if I truly understand, then I can help you win because I understand what you're doing. I trust you. We have a relationship, and then I can put you in front of the right people because I want to know that if I put you in front of someone else, I trust that they're in good hands with you. And so that's where there's a balance to this. So I love this element of the give as well. What is a good referral relationship? Like when you have it beyond getting leads, what other opportunities do you see when it comes to this relationship marketing, referral marketing?
Oh, can I do a story?
Please.
Is that good? Story time? Story time. Okay, let's do this. So I did a video commercial with a boutique shop owner, and she was on a strip. There's a bunch of little local stores and stuff on this little strip. We did the video, and she's like, that was a lot of fun. I want to start doing this. And so cool. I showed you how to do it. It's not hard to do. So she took her time. She's a business owner herself, went to all the different business owners on her street, took one a day, met all the owners on the street. And now she knows all of them. So if somebody stops into her boutique and she's like, oh, this is a really cool place. Where should I grab some food? Like George, he owns a pizzeria down there. go check him out, tell him I sent you. Vice versa. Somebody's down at the pizza shop, like, cool, I need spilled on my shirt. Where can you get a new shirt? The boutique lady, go down and see her. She's in the street there. And they started creating content and started creating relationships, and they started giving to each other referrals in that same street. They started sending people their way, and it just made for a much more tight-knit community for them. And they started sending people back and forth with each other. And it's just a win-win for everybody. I don't think enough businesses think that way either. Everybody has this lone wolf mentality, right? There's like, I'm the business owner. I need to do this myself. I've got this grit and I'm carrying everything on my shoulders. And you're like, you don't have to. What you really want to do is survive. You want to succeed and be like, have a successful business. Who cares about this lone wolf stuff? So if you own like a boutique and you're like, listen, there's some people around here that can really help me out. Let's go collaborate. Let's do some partnerships. Let's do some content together. Stop with the lone wolf stuff. Like, it's great that you did it all yourself, but in the end, that bank doesn't care, right? Your mortgage doesn't care. Your rent doesn't care that you're doing it all yourself. Work with each other. Collaborate. It can work on a business to business level. It can work on a business to consumer level. Like it actually works on so many different levels.
You just triggered something for me that was one of these early lessons I learned in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And here's the way I frame it: that other people hold the keys to your success. And locking yourself in a room and building a business. But like the amount of times that I've been stuck in early days when I started a business, I would be like, why are you procrastinating? Like, why are you? And the reality is I wasn't procrastinating. There's a piece of the equation that hadn't revealed, because the second it reveals, I actually move really fast. And so there was times that just by the relationships that I had, it felt like someone took a key when I talked to them and like turned it, and something unlocked inside of me. And sometimes these are not deep conversations. There's been times that it was in passing and it was just a relationship, and they said something on the cusp, and it was like they took a key and went unlock. And then all of a sudden I was like, that was the piece that was holding me back.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times that's happening. When you play lone wolf, you miss out on those opportunities. And sometimes those casual conversations can turn into partnerships, relationships, opportunities to say, you know what, we're all on the same street, but why don't we actually create some collateral? We can create a passport in which if people come to all of the stores on the street, we can do something special for them. We can offer them something special. We can create a win-win for all the players. And so all of a sudden, because we had these connections and just these conversations, other people could hold the keys to your success, and we're all winning together. And that's part of the game, is that how do we all win together? Yeah.
That's it. Entrepreneurship's a team sport, man. It's a team sport.
It totally is. It totally is. Before we wrap up, Billy, is there anything that we didn't hit on that you want to make sure we address to our listeners? I'm glad you mentioned this. This is actually a good one. Let's do it.
So I mean, how expensive is to buy leads every month? Thousands, tens of thousands, often more than that. So with the referral marketing that I teach you, you need just three things. You need your phone, because it records the video. You need a lapel mic, which is $9 on Amazon. You put it on here and you plug it into your phone. And a tripod, which is like $12 on Amazon. So the whole thing is under $50, and you can become a referral expert. And that's all, because all the resources are free, right? Video editing programs can be free. YouTube's free. Email's free. All that stuff's free. So for under $50, you can become an expert in referral marketing and grow your business.
Isn't it crazy, the age we live in?
Isn't that nuts?
Physical. In the 80s and 90s, so many of these things, like to build a physical product, the technology wasn't there. And so you're like creating these box sets that could have 10,000 units as a minimum order coming from China, months coming in. Then you have warehousing costs because they have to ship it out, and you got to get it out. Whereas at the age of digital, it came in all of a sudden, you can create it once, but there's no inventory. And so you can scale this out. And so it completely changed the paradigm, because people were like, what happened to physical products? Well, that was it. Was in the age of digital, when it first got started, was like huge cost savings. Now we're in this like oversaturation, and now the barriers of entry with physical products have changed. You're right. For $50, a lapel mic, phone, which you probably already have in your pocket, and some type of video editing, which now software is so powerful. We're using the Riverside platform to do this. Riverside has editing with AI that you flip a switch and it does it automatically. In the past, we would have had to pay somebody tons of money to listen to every single word and then clean it up, and how things have just shifted. And so you're right to say it's affordable. You have no excuse at all. Part of it could be just your own creativity, and through that have the new opportunity to rethink your business. But you're right. It's how do you stand out in a noisy crowd? It's going to be a lot easier to stand out with someone that's an advocate in your corner, as opposed to getting that random call from your good friend, potential spam.
It is.
Yeah.
There's very few downside, but I'm very biased because I've been doing this for 15, 16 years. So I'm very biased, but I grew my whole business off it. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Billy, thank you for coming on Dash Talks Live. Before we wrap up, where can people learn more about you?
I'm going to give you the generic answer. You're trained not to do this, but I'm going to say website. You're trained to give something specific and fun. But the website's got all the good stuff on it. It's livelocalwarmarketing.com. You go there and it's got at the bottom, you can jump on my LinkedIn links down there. I've got a book if you want to read the book and, self-pace. There's freebies like my podcast episodes, which you were on. Make sure you put that on there. The Mark Stern episode, make sure you check that one out. And the blog, all free stuff. Or if you want to join and get the framework's on there too. And you can take the framework and it'll step you step by step how to go through this. And by the end of this 10 days, you're going to be a referral marketing pro.
Amazing.
Crushing it.
I have to have you do a plug for your book. Where can we get your book, please?
Amazon. You can do it on Amazon. We got to do a book swap. I don't think we did a book swap yet. I've been doing a lot of book swaps this year.
So have I sent you any of our products?
Nothing. We were having too much fun. So the podcast, we were having so much fun that we were like, oh my God, it's been 45 minutes. And we were like, oh crap, we have to hop off for more meetings. We didn't have a chance last time, but I'll follow up. We'll do a book swap.
Let's do a book swap. So I'm going to do a box swap and you're going to do a book swap. But again, thank you for being a guest, and it's been so good catching up with you.
Man, we could do another hour probably, just talking shop and doing marketing, because marketing is such a cool beast. It's so fun. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on and the time we spent today.
Absolutely. This is another episode of Dash Talks Live. More to come. Stay tuned for future episodes. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me, Mark Stern, on this episode of Dash Talks Live. If something in this conversation sparked an idea for you, take a moment to share this episode with another entrepreneur who could benefit from it. And if you think you'd be the next best guest for Dash Talks Live, come visit us at dashtalkslive.com, fill out the form, and join us for a future episode. Be sure to follow the show so you don't miss future conversations with founders and builders who are creating what's next. And if you want to learn more about designing your own customer journeys and experiences, come visit us at customboxagency.com and have a free consultation. Meet with a member of our team. Until next time, keep building with intention. Cheers.